Misha from Periphery here, and I am at the Music Zoo, as you can see. Very excited. Let's go check out some guitars. When I walk into a guitar shop, I think obviously the aesthetics are probably the first thing that are going to grab you. I think that's why a lot of companies focus on the aesthetics. Once then they'll sort of stand out amongst the fray. There'll usually be like a few guitars that have like really nice tops or that just have a very unique aesthetic to them, a very unique design approach, and those might catch my eye. But I'll also pretty instantly know if it's the kind of thing I'd be into or not. You know, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but generally speaking, I'll be like, okay, that seems like the kind of thing I could rock. Like for example, I can't really pull off the V or the Warrior or anything like that, like Dave can, you know? Really cool guitar. Whoa! That's a very different kind of thing, actually. I'll just kind of keep an eye out for anything that looks like it's substantially different from something I have in my collection. Because at this point, my collection's pretty extensive, so I want something different. It's got like a boost here and like, it's got all sorts of weird controls. It's a very high-tech guitar. So I actually started out as a drummer. Drums were definitely my first love. I was kind of just playing like drop D chords on guitar. It was easy. It was like, oh, one finger, you know? I think when I was 17 or so, went to university, couldn't play drums, couldn't practice drums anymore. I was like, well, I have all this musical desire, I better focus it on something. I decided, well, guitar is going to be easy to maintain in this situation, so I started to take guitar very seriously there, and that's where I actually started to work on my chops and started to try to approach writing as a guitarist rather than having the guitar be this sort of background instrument. Strings are kind of dead. Must not be D'Addario. Guitar is something I don't think about in the way that you don't think about breathing or eating. It's just desire that you have. You go long enough without breathing or eating and be like, wow, I really need to breathe and or eat to survive. I mean, for me, it's just another thing. I'll pick it up if I see one. You know, it's like it's a reflex at this point. I'm sure I get satisfaction out of writing and jamming and whatever, but I think there's a very basic desire to just have a guitar in my hands a lot of the times. And that's how cool ideas come out. I'll just be watching a show or whatever, and I'll have a guitar in my hands, and every now and then like I'll stumble on something kind of cool. Or I'll work on my technique like that too, you know? But I'm sure a lot of people can relate. But it's just a very comfort, it's my comfort blanket, it's my security blanket at this point, right? It's just an extension of me, I guess, and what I do. Yeah, our new album is like mostly 6. It has no 8-string on it. Wow. And it's like 3 7-string songs. It's just getting old, man, getting old and boring.
So the whole record was like a 52 tally into like a Fender Tweed.
Oh, you were there? No, I'm just Something that would inspire me is seeing someone just doing something that I have never thought of doing or that I wouldn't be able to do, or so I'm just like, wow, how is that sound happening? How is he doing that? I think those kind of guitarists are the ones that I'll gravitate towards, because I'll be like, wow, I need to understand that. Is that something that I can do? Is that something I can learn to do? Is that something I can incorporate in what I do? I think a lot of guitarists can relate to that, which is why, you know, virtuosos and whatnot are very popular. There's a lot of those guys where just like, I can't quite understand how, you know, he's doing something that looks that effortless, and yet the sound is coming out as a result of that. The flip side of that is also true. Like, Deftones is one of my favorite bands in the whole world, and they don't shred or do their riffs aren't technically amazing, but they're just right. And that's the other side, is like seeing guys who aren't technically, you know, mind-blowing and who aren't reinventing the wheel with the guitar, and yet are able to get something out of it where that's memorable. Like, what is that? That's a really special thing. That's like it's almost harder. Of course, it's impressive if you play a million notes per second and you're making these crazy sounds. Of course that's impressive. But why is this simple chord progression, that's 2 or 3 chords, 4 chords, why is that one catchy? What is it about that? That to me is mystifying. And that is probably a lot tougher to quantify because it's that X factor. And that is something that I think I'll eternally chase. But that is insanely inspiring to me. And that is just as much an impetus for me to sit down and try to write a song. It's like, okay, well, how simple can I get this to be and still have it be special and memorable? The thing it's great for is, like, if you, like me, pick really hard. You just dig in and, like, it'll always just be the correct note. You don't have to worry about it. And I've had guitars that, I mean, it's you just play it and it's like riffs come out, They're just very inspiring for who knows what reason. Some of these guitars weren't even specs that I liked, They were just guitars that I liked. They're guitars that I just instinctively reached for because I really liked them. And there were some guitars that would make me want to sit down and practice with them, But it's not about the specs on those guitars. It's just that I liked that guitar and it encouraged me to play them. Again, I don't think that there's any single spec on a guitar that will make you better. What you'll find is something that's maybe more conducive to your playing. For example, I know I'm not a big fan of tunematic bridges. Just the angle and where they're at doesn't really work with my picking style. For other people, they swear by them. But that's just something that I found, like, well, the hip shot is like kind of the right height and it's something that's comfortable for me and it sounds the way that I like. But it's not like it's the be all end all for bridges. It's just something that really helped me. But it's also not the kind of thing where, like, if I hadn't had that, like, I wouldn't have been able to improve as a guitarist. All you can do is just optimize and make it as nice for you every time that as nice a guitar playing experience as possible when you do play it. But don't kid yourself and think of, my guitar or my pickups will make you a better player. No, that's on you, So I've had a lot of fun today. So you can see I have guitars all over me. I really want to thank the Music Zoo for putting up with me today. Check out their amps and guitars, pedals, and whatnot. They are in Long Island, in New York, in Roslyn. That's a lot of information. You can find it online.